the Marlins. Tonight, a chance for 4 in a row with the #1 starter on the mound. Hot day in town, hot ball club in town. It's the Nats and the Marlins, game 2, a day game tomorrow, and some more business to take care of tonight against a Florida team that the Nationals finally were able to beat last night. Bob Carpenter, Rob Dibble, welcome to game 2. Part of that, the big bat of Adam Dunn. This guy is up to 80 RBIs now. He's 3rd in the league in homers and runs batted in.
And when he gets hot, he can really carry a ball club, and he has been doing a great job. And you go back to the San Diego series, he hits this huge grand slam. It was a blowout, but this is what got things going, was the grand slam. You can't pitch around him. Then in Milwaukee, I mean, with the roof open, he hits it over that Toyota Tundra sign. That one was hit a ton. And then the game go-ahead home run that he hit against the Pirates to send it to a victory there. And then last night, things just did not look good for the Nationals. Then all of a sudden, up steps Adam Dunn, and it's a totally different ball game. So when you have guys, Bob, that are game changers and guys that can change the momentum in the course of a ball game, it's something special to watch. And Adam Dunn is one of those guys. There's very few of them in the game, and very few guys that you have to try to always pitch around in the lineup.
And 2 game changers in the lineup tonight. John Lennon throwing for the Nationals. And here on Wired Wednesday, we were planning on getting Niger Morgan, but evidently an alter ego showed up at the ballpark.
Yeah, we're wired up, Johnny. Wired up, big guy.
Here we go, live on T Plus TV. It's officially T Plus TV. Let's get it, baby.
Brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Book your next trip at southwest.com. And by Jaguar. Visit your local Jaguar dealer for the new 510 horsepower Jaguar XKR and XFR. National Harbor and Nationals baseball on a Wednesday night in early August. It's the Nats and the Marlins, and here's the Florida Southwest.com lineup. And they're hitting .258, 8th in the league, 6th in runs, 7th in home runs. Chris Coughlin hitting the ball well, 7 for his last 14 in the leadoff spot. And John Lennon throws him ball 1 to start the ball game. So we're underway right on time at 7:05. Clear skies, just a little bit hazy. 85 degrees and a drive to center. Niger Morgan, no problem for the first down. It's been a hot one in town today. There have been a few respites of cloud cover throughout the day. But warm, and the ball should be carrying well, and that's always interesting when a power hitting team like Florida is in town. Here's Nick Johnson, 4 for 10 as a Marlin in 3 games. He's also walked 4 times, so he will single-handedly improve their on-base percentage. As a ball club, the Marlins on-base percentage is just .330. The Nationals is .346. And Nick will pull that ball, look like off speed, landing at him way out ahead, and 2 quick outs.
Let's drop the PNC scouting report on the people. Bob, only 2 starts has he given up more than 3 runs in his last 10. 1 time in the last 10 has he gone less than 6 innings, and 6 of the last 10 starts the Nationals have won a John Lannon start.
It's all that matters. How often you win when your guy starts the ball game. Hanley Ramirez leading the league in hitting at .340. Starting the night 10 points ahead of Sandoval of San Francisco, 16 ahead of David Wright, 17 ahead of Miguel Tejada. Lannon has him hitting a ground ball. Guzman's there, turns and fires. Safe is Ramirez. Guzman got to the ball, couldn't get much on the throw. Base hit Ramirez with Cantu coming up. Guzman up the middle with Ronnie Belliard, who earned a start tonight after his wonderful pinch hit 2-run double last night. Ryan Zimmerman's back on the diamond. That's always good for the Nats, across from Adam Dunn. Willingham, Morgan, and Dukes pretty much the everyday outfield, and a second consecutive start for Wilnie Avis. Josh Bard will start tomorrow in the day game after the night game. Cantu goes up, slugging, and hits it foul.
And I wanted to talk about the comment you made about Nick Johnson. I got to spend some time with Howie Kendrick today of the Angels, and he made that same comment about Bobby Abreu. He has changed their lineup. They're hitting .290 as a ball club. Wow. But he said that his patience at the plate has helped everybody else in the lineup become more patient. So I think Nick Johnson will have a definite effect on that Marlins lineup.
Something about Southern California. The Dodgers are hitting about .280 and the Angels right about .290. And that's a real good lineup. And they have speed. Mike Scioscia likes to play a National League style of ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cantu, hitting .285. John Lannon coming off an outing in Pittsburgh where he gave up 5 runs, 9 hits, in going deep into the game's 7 innings. Hard breaking ball, got him. Cantu gave up on it. Field and Culbreth took a good long look and then punched out the batter. Lannon gives up an infield hit and a good start to his evening. Not great for the vendors, great for the Nats though. And here they come, batting .265, fourth in the league, eighth in runs. Adam Dunn hit the Nationals' 100th home run of the year last night, and he is wearing out pitching staffs in this ballpark. Adam can reach any part of this park. Left field pole to the right field side. And this is Rick Vanderherk, a 6'5", 219, 24-year-old right-hander who is actually from the Netherlands, Eindhoven. His name. Rob has some interesting tidbits on him to tell you about tonight. He's literally been all over the globe. And here's Niger Morgan, who pulls one at the second baseman, Dan Udlow.
Well, let's break him down a little bit further. Rick Vandenherk is from the Netherlands. It's 10 letters in that last name. He is from, as Bob said, Eindhoven, the Netherlands, near Holland. His father's name is Wim. His dad runs a baseball academy. He was a catcher when he first got here, and Randy Kearse, the Marlins head of international scouting, is the one that suggested he become a pitcher.
He jams Guzman with a fastball and a pop-up left field. Chris Coughlin, 2 quick outs. Marlins defensively are number 11 in the league. They've only made 67 errors this year. Emilio Bonifacio gets a call in center field. He's made 15 errors. It didn't work out very well for him at third base. Cody Ross, right field. Cantu at third base, and Nick Johnson at first. Those two guys are pretty permanent there now that Nick has joined this ball club. Cantu has played some first base when the Nats have faced them. And here's Ryan Zimmerman back in the lineup, hitting .294. Over his last 11 games, Ryan is hitting .414. He's on another one of those hot streaks of his. And he's up in the top 10 of the league in RBIs now with those 70. That's outside 2-0.
Well, and Vandenherk is only the 5th player since 1900 to play in Major League Baseball that is originally from the Netherlands. And the Marlins broadcasters were telling me that he was a nibbler. He tried to nibble the outside, inside, did not want to attack the strike zone until the WBC this year. He met the pitching coach of the Netherlands, Bert Blijleven, and Blijleven has turned this kid around.
Bert Blijleven is a broadcaster for the Twins.
Won 287 games
and should
in the
be
big leagues. Should be in the Hall of Fame. 242 complete games, 60 shutouts, and I know that because for the last decade I've been saying he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
2-2 to Zimmerman. Fastball up, and Ryan fouls it off. He was hit by a pitch in the 6th inning at Pittsburgh by Charlie Morton on Monday night. Bang. He had that left shoulder heavily taped and iced in the trainer's room after the game, and guess what he did his next at bat? He hit a 2-run homer. This ball is high in the air and deep to right into the corner. It is gone! Zimmerman into the bullpen. And the Nationals lead 1-0. And he joins Will Nieves as the only right-handed batters who've hit a ball into that bullpen in this park. That's number 22 for Ryan.
Well, this is just hard heat that Zimmerman takes the other way. Sometimes it pays off to be late and strong. He keeps the head down, drives through it. We said he's been diving in there quite nicely. That's why he got hit by Charlie Morton. Look at that. What a hot streak. 7 homers in the last 12 games.
And done high in the air. See you later. Upper deck, 2-0. They were barely done with one set of fireworks, and they had to shoot off another. Look out, Willingham's coming.
Well, that's being green right there. You save the wick that lights the first round, and you light the second round with the same one. Now, this is just a bomb off a fastball. that he just crushes. There's no part of this park I don't think he can reach with a baseball and a bat in his hand.
Number 22 for Zimmerman, 29 for Dunn. Look out, here comes Josh. And he doesn't get a first pitch fastball, does he?
No.
Willingham's hit 17. And the Nats have now hit 102. The same total the Marlins have given up this year.
Now, did you see Zimmerman's last at bat he had in Pittsburgh? He hit a home run.
Well, the one after the hit batter.
Right.
And then after that, he walked and scored.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Looking at the wrong game. Monday night. Hold on.
And he didn't play last night.
And Josh Willingham hits one a mile that goes foul. Yeah, Zimmerman was pinch hit for, actually pinch run.
So really his last two official at bats he's going to.
Yeah. Hit by pitch, homer, walk, homer. That's being hot.
Yep.
That's the first time Dunn and Zimmerman have gone back to back. And the 1-2. Willingham is called out on a fastball under his hands. The Nats do some long distance damage in the bottom of the first and lead 2-0.
Can't come in plus land without getting it caught, baby. One down. One down.
Well, nobody's going to catch this one. Dan Ugla leading off the top of the second on the first pitch.
Could be one of those.
I told you the ball's going to carry tonight. It is hot. It is muggy.
And the wind's blowing out just a tad.
And Dan Ugla with his 20th of the year.
Ugla, the sluggler. The slugger.
John Lannon gives up his 7th home run of the year.
Well, it's a hanging breaking ball or cut fastball, and it comes back into the zone. And that guy knows what to do with a ball like that. What did he walk 4 times last night? He's saying, I'm not walking 4 times tonight.
He'd never done that before. Well, not in the major leagues anyway. Cody Ross is next. And he hit his 18th of the year last night. This is the guy that might surprise me more than any of the Marlins. I mean, Ugla and Ross are not big, tall guys, but Ugla is much more put together than Cody Ross. But he is strong.
Ugla's a fire hydrant. This is just a good hitting kid.
5'10", 194. That's a strike. And right now, Field and Culbreath, the home plate umpire, he likes that inside corner. He gave it to Lannon on Cantu. He gave it to Vandenherk on Willingham. And he just gave it to Lannon again on Cody Ross. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, you thought Zim was hot. 7 homers in the last 12 games. He's got 4 homers in the last 5.
Guzman takes a while to plant, but he gets the job done on a long throw. That's about a 120-foot throw from the outfield grass for the first out.
Ball's hit very hard, deep in the hole towards third base. He stops, sets, and throws. Got a nice target to throw to here on the Exmo.
I would imagine on a bang-bang play like that, when you just get a split second to eye your target, it's great to see somebody 6'7" standing over there.
It's like Derek Lee in Chicago. It's nice to be able to pick him up quickly.
Yeah.
And you're not looking around for him. And now we've won that ball game. I think one of the funnier moments was Belliard not being able to reach far enough to catch the ball last night when he was playing first base.
Yeah. Not too funny at the time, but
it wasn't funny at the time. Now you look back and you say, okay, he's a second baseman trying to get the ball at first base.
Here's Ronnie Paulino, a former teammate of Niger Morgan's in Pittsburgh. He's hitting .263 and 5 for his last 9. Lannon misses with a changeup, 3-1.
This is a pretty good looking player. I like this Paulino. It's a shame that Pittsburgh has just offloaded a lot of talent, but their loss is the Marlins game.
Yeah, hard to believe this is his 3rd year in Florida already. He goes the other way, hard hit, corralled by Ronnie Belliard, and 2 down. Pitchers aren't fooling anybody so far in this game. Get your family fun pack tickets. The Diamondbacks will be here on Sunday. A $14 upper right field terrace ticket or a $25 lower field reserve ticket on either side of the ballpark. With each one of those, you get a hot dog, non-alcoholic drink, and chips. Minimum 2 tickets per purchase. Pre-game autographs on signature Sundays, and the kids get to run the bases after the game. We'll do it again this Sunday when Arizona is here. Here's Emilio Bonifacio batting .248. Now from the right side, he's been very good all year at .317, but only .219 left-handed. And you would figure he'd get enough hits on the ground left-handed to hit much, much higher than that.
Well, I'd say the same thing to him. I've said to Niger Morgan, you put more balls on the ground depending on your speed. And this guy obviously thinks he's a home run threat or a big slasher threat. If he put more balls on the ground from the left side, he'd have a lot more infield singles.
2 balls and a strike.
Probably get more action in the field, get more games played.
The 15 errors haven't helped him. He's pretty much being platooned right now against a right-handed pitcher. Ross plays center, Hermida plays right, and against a lefty like tonight, Bonifacio gets a shot in center field. You don't want to walk him. Little tapper, and that was an alert play by Will Nieves because that ball could have spun back fair. 3-2. And if you're the batter, you better not be standing there watching a spinning ball possibly coming back. Will played it right until the ball came to a stop. Lannon's going to walk a speedy batter who has stolen 19 bases and give Vandenhurk a chance to bat here with 2 outs. John Lannon's 43rd walk of the year. The only puzzling thing about John this year, the strikeout to walk totals. 59 Ks, but 43 walks. The fact that he's pitched so well with that ratio indicates how well he has thrown the ball this year.
Well, I think he pitches carefully to guys that he doesn't need to pitch to. And then he's very good, and I've told you this many times, you're always 1 pitch from a double play or 1 pitch from getting out of an inning, and he does that quite well.
Breaking ball, yes. He had Bonifacio going backward to the bag that time. Vandenhurk is 0 for 5 this year and 1 for 31 in his young career. Recalled on July 20th from AAA New Orleans. This is only his 4th game of the year.
That's not going to get you a silver slugger back.
And in his career, it's notable that in 07, 08, and 09, not once in his career has he pitched more than 6 innings. (6, 5, and 6) his first 3 starts this year. after only pitching in 4 big league games last season. Bonifacio has a big lead, but he's not running. And the pitcher's gone. It'll require a throw. And the top of the second is over. Dan Uggla's 20th homer gets the Marlins on the board. Elijah Dukes coming up next. Lots of treats to cool things off at the ballpark tonight. Nats lead 2-1. Lots of homers here. It's never been easier to take a ball game in, you Nats fans. StubHub.com, official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Washington Nationals. And a day game tomorrow. We've got a 12:30 on-air time with Rob and I. 12:35 first pitch from Craig Stammet against Chris Volstad. And then the D-backs are in. Ballister, John Garland Friday, Garrett Mock, Dan Herron Saturday, Sunday to be determined for the Nats against Yusmeiro Petit. And there is some speculation that it might be Jordan Zimmerman, but the Nats kind of a wait-and-see attitude on him.
There's no rush.
No, sir. And he did get hit by a batted ball in his outing last evening. Evidently okay. Elijah Dukes 3 for 15 with 3 RBIs since returning to the ball club 4 games ago. 2-0. Debbie, what's the latest on Jordan Zimmerman?
Well, Jordan admitted to me that his leg is still sore today after he got hit last night. As for his arm, he told me it felt okay. He said he thought if he continued getting treatment, massages, heat and ice, that he should be able to start on Sunday.
There you have it. I had to chuckle at one of the entries on the "You Know You're a Nats Fan" t-shirt last night. It was telling the difference between the Zimmermans. One with 1 in, one with 2. Clever. And a 2-2 to Elijah. And Dukes hits it hard to center. Too hard. Right at Bonifacio for the first out. It's a Wired Wednesday, and Jim Riggleman's been kind enough to agree to join us on a weekly basis. We had him in Milwaukee last week. We look forward to that. That's if Niger Morgan ever stops talking. we can actually get Riggleman on the air.
Yeah, once Niger put that on, it became the Niger Morgan show. He is a good young man right there. He gets it. Yeah, I was wondering, as soon as I heard about the Blyleven thing with Vandenherk, I was thinking, did he teach him that big curveball? That has Burt in the top 10 all-time in strikeouts. once again, they could have a basketball team with that pitching staff over there.
They're amazing.
This kid's 6'5". Johnson was 6'7".
Still is.
Yep. Every day.
Ronnie Belliard, 4 for his last 8 as a pinch hitter, with 2 walks in his 10 pinch hitting appearances. So a guy does well for you, he deserves a start here and there, and Ronnie gets one tonight. Good eye, 2-2.
All right, LaRue is 6'6". Pinto 6'4". Then Johnson and Miller are both 6'7". And then Volstad and Sean West are both 6'8".
Ronnie Belliard, left field line, hooking. Not missing a home run by very much. And Tim Wood and Brian Sanchez at 6 foot tall must feel like mighty mites around these guys. Wow.
Probably going, yeah. Okay. 2 6'8" guys, 2 6'7" guys. What a staff. And that's what the Pirates are talking about. That's the guys they want to draft.
It's a good eye by Ronnie Belliard, a fastball that tailed under his hands. Rob and I talked about that Sunday in Pittsburgh. The Pirates have a philosophy in their organization now, drafting tall pitchers, increasing that downward angle toward home plate. Belliard can't get it. Strikeout number 2 for Vandenhurst.
The thing about Neil Huntington that I do like is part of his baseball resume is working with the Cleveland Indians, and they've had a great history of great evaluation and drafting very talented players. And I think as long as you develop and draft talented players that you think and project can play in the major league level, the Pirates will be fine. Once they get of age, though, you're gonna have to sign them. You gotta eventually spend some money to win games.
You cannot continue to be a farm team for the rest of baseball.
Right.
That's what happened in Montreal. That's why we have a team in Washington. The Expos did not have the attendance and the money base to keep all those great young players.
And it was sad because letting guys like Vlad Guerrero go and Larry Walker and Wetland and Marquise Grissom, it's sad because you think of what could have been up there in Montreal. And it was just like, no, we're not going to spend the money, and we're just going to give these guys to other teams and help their organizations out.
Willie Avis hitting .257. One of our great friends in this business is in the ballpark tonight doing radio for the Marlins, and that's Dave Van Horn, the longtime radio voice of the Montreal Expos. For the last couple of years they were there, they didn't even have an English-speaking radio contract. Nieves squirts one over to Nick Johnson. And the Nats go in order. Manager Jim Riggleman, with a 9-11 record, joins us straight ahead. Never seen any young player who gets as hot at times as Ryan Zimmerman.
Well, that's a good question. There's some guys out there right now who do it, in the big league level, but I haven't been around them. When Ryan gets it going, it seems like he's really driving the ball and driving for power, driving in some runs for us. And we got another one out there, Guzman, can get like that too.
Yeah, Guzman's a very good contact guy. How much has the addition of Nyjer Morgan not only helped this lineup offensively, but defensively too?
It's been huge. I think, last night was a good example. He made a play for us, got an out at third base that you don't normally see. He got a runner over, allowed us to get a runner to third base and get a runner in on an 0 for 4 night. He had a big impact on that ball game.
Jim, how about the effort of your ball club lately? We had a brief conversation about that during your press briefing this afternoon. Coming from behind, winning these games, and a never give up attitude.
Well, I think that's very important. We'd like to be able to continue that, just to always feel like we got a chance. And, a guy last night was throwing a great ball game, but our guys were saying all the right things in the dugout. Let's just stay close. Let's hang around this ball game. We'll get this big guy out of there, and maybe we'll bang up the bullpen. And fortunately, we were able to do that.
And a little bouncing ball to the right side for Ronnie Belliard. We got you an easy out, Skipper, so we'll ask you one more question.
That's great.
I was not aware that Ryan Zimmerman and Adam Dunn have not gone back-to-back with home runs this year. Talk about the synergy between the two of them in the 3 and 4 spots.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, but I know Zim really likes having Dunn sitting back there. I think it's helped him. There's so much respect in the league for Adam that Ryan is going to get some pitches to hit if he just will take advantage of those, and he has. So we're very fortunate to have those big sluggers in the middle of that lineup.
Jim, as always, we appreciate your time, sir. We'll let you get back to work.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Jim.
That is so great that we get to talk to the skipper live every week on Wired Wednesday. And John Lannon throws a strike under the hands of his former teammate Nick Johnson. After the easy out, Coughlin bouncing out to Belliard. Top of the third underway. And the Nats on top 2-1. Both pitchers are pitching inside, and that's a good thing. Field and Culbreth has established an inside corner-oriented strike zone tonight. Under Jim Riggleman, the Nationals have now won 9 of 20. Almost 5 runs a game, almost 270. 20 home runs in 20 games, and the ERA is about 0.8 of a run lower than the season ERA is right now at 5.04. Definite improvement, Rob Dibble.
Yes, it's a definite improvement. The effort's been there. They still have had some games where the errors have hurt them.
That is your definition of a slow roller, and Guzman gets Nick Johnson.
But as long as you have the effort on a team that they know at this point they're not going to the playoffs, and I think they're working harder now than maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And I think Mike Rizzo's done a wonderful job of trying to get together enough talent to be competitive in these ball games. And now, coming down the stretch in the last 60, you become the spoiler. And the one thing that I liked about this team a couple of years ago, they knocked the Mets out of the playoffs. And now that's how you can really build some character for next year and gauge your talent level, and it's a little bit easier to evaluate.
Hanley Ramirez did not have a hit in the series until his 2 at-bats tonight.
Well, that guy.
An infield base hit and a clean single to left. Jorge Cantu is next.
Not hard to evaluate his talent. That kid can play.
Well, he came in batting .340, leading the league. Ichiro Suzuki leads all of baseball at .364. Joe Mauer, .359. Cantu called out on strikes. I'm sure he remembers that breaking ball under his hands first time. Lannon starts him off soft with a strike. And by the way, under Jim Riggleman, the Nats are 9 and 11. They've won 7 of their last 11 and 9 of 16. Remember, they lost their first 4 games with him as the manager when the Cubs came in here and swept the Nats. So since then, they're 9 and 7. That's a good, solid veteran baseball man there. 0-2. And Lannon goes real soft and dumps a 72-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch in the dirt. Jim got kind of a raw deal in Seattle last year. Took over that ball club and was told at the time, well, we're not caring about wins and losses. You know, we want to develop young players, look at guys for next year. Then at the end of the season, they told him he didn't win enough games. And he didn't get that job. Their loss is Washington's gain. That was close, 2-2. Big, strong, 6'3", 207 Jorge Cantu, who works his family's 8,600-acre cattle ranch in Reynosa, Mexico during the offseason. He was born in McAllen, Texas, and the ranch is right across the Rio Grande. 3-2, and Ramirez will be running. A guy with extra base hit power, and that's significant because Ramirez represents the tying run. Change up, extra base hit. The Nats hope it stays in front of Willingham, and it does. It'll be second and third, 2 outs. You know, I just thought of something. It's dangerous when a fan interferes with a double, because if the fan interferes, the umpires can use their judgment on whether or not they think a runner might score and send him home.
There's the ball. It gets by the bag, comes down. The fan tries to make a catch. Thankfully, he misses it terribly. And it stays second and third. And John Lennon has still a chance to not give up a run in this inning and keep the lead.
Ugla followed by Ross. That's outside, says Field and Colbreth.
Throwing a lot of pitches early, 47 already. In the third inning. Nibbling the last couple of starts a lot more than he has in the past.
Yeah, the outs aren't coming very early in the count, are they?
No.
At Pittsburgh last Friday, John Lennon threw 50 pitches in the first 3 innings. Then he got through 7.
Good 1-0 count breaking ball there for strike to even the count up. Wow.
That was a strike earlier.
Oh, the umpire thought it was just a little low. 1-1 pitch. Just dips on the edge of that zone.
It's a perfect pitch. Ugla, an all or nothing hitter. 229 coming in. Now 20 homers, 94 strikeouts. Ball 3. And Cody Ross, a Nationals tormentor, is next. Well, he broke in big in 06. He was one of those Marlins that was in the Rookie of the Year voting with Ramirez and Johnson and Ryan Zimmerman. Bases loaded. Second walk for Lannon. The Nats will host the 5th annual Nationals Blood Drive in partnership with the Red Cross this Saturday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the Nationals Park Conference Center, rooms 3 and 4. Donors receive a unique Nationals collectible T-shirt, 2 tickets to an upcoming game, and the opportunity to win more. Player appearances schedule permitting. You can dial 1-800-GIVE-LIFE or visit my-redcross.org. Ross retired on a good play by Guzman first time. Only Douglas makes a very good stop. We could hear the sound of the ball hitting the dirt before it got to the catcher.
Well, you know breaking ball's coming. You know you got to get down low. When you see him leaning forward, we've talked about it. You have to keep your chest going back towards the mound so the ball doesn't slide off to the side. A guy like Ramirez is like a Nigel Morgan. He'll score easily if it just squirts 10 to 15 feet away from you.
This all started with 2 outs. Up and in.
Yeah, he's not feeling it right now. And you don't want to just throw a bad pitch to this guy.
3 of Cody Ross, 18 home runs or grand slams. It'll make you throw a strike as well. Ball 3. Here's our base running bunch. Ramirez singled. So did Cantu. His actually a double. 2 hits and then the walk to Ugla. And now Cody Ross, a 3-1 count. And a ground ball to Zimmerman. Knocks it down. Still got him at first. Ryan Zimmerman sacrificing his sore body to get the Nationals a crucial out here. That is textbook keeping the ball in front of you. Forces members honored here tonight. And Rob Dibble, this was a very tough play.
Well, sometimes you have to be like a hockey goalie and knock it down. That's part 1. Number 2, it got far enough away from him where it had to be an unbelievable do-or-die play, and he made it. He barehanded it, stayed with it. He has to sacrifice his body right there and then throw him out. Very similar to the play last night in the Mets game where Johan Santana kicked it. David Wright barehanded it and threw somebody out at first.
How about that shot of Zimmerman airborne as he let that throw go? That was fantastic.
Well, he is one of the best third basemen. And you brought it up about Bonifacio. Not everybody is made, not just physically, but mentally to play third.
Yeah.
Even first. You have to be willing to take a shot, one bounce it right in front of you and hit your body and knock it down.
About 5 years ago, I had a conversation with a great baseball gentleman named George Kissel, who is a longtime major league instructor. Rob, he gave me a statement that shocked me. He said, Bob, you would be surprised how many major league ball players are afraid of the ball. He said you cannot play third base or first base if you have any fear of the baseball at all.
I'm not surprised. I've seen many guys that are afraid of contact, afraid to knock the ball down. Playing third base takes a certain mentality. And they used to have a phrase that they yelled at the infielders all the time when they were, as Nigel Morgan misses a bunt attempt, get your face in front of it. Not your body, get your face in front of it, meaning get your glove dirty, get your head down, get in front of the ball and knock it down. Not a lot of guys want to put their face in front of the ball.
Cantu hasn't played that much third base. Nyjer Morgan just got hit on an 0-2 pitch. That's as good as a walk or a hit as far as the Nats are concerned. And Nyjer Morgan gets hit by a pitch for the 8th time this year, 3rd time as a Nat. Ladies' Night is back on August 20th. $30 gets you access to the Rooftop Happy Hour, which begins at 4:30, and then the 7:05 game against the Rockies. Complimentary food and drinks, manicures, massages, player appearances, prices, music, dancing, and more. 202-675-NATS. Outside to Guzman. Not the most patient #2 hitter with a speedster on first.
Oh, caught him leaning again.
He's been caught stealing 15 more times than any runner in the major leagues this year. Ironic that the man who's holding him spent most of the last month hitting behind him. He's holding, and a strike to Guzman. The count's even. Guzman, first pitch swinging, first time up, popped up to short. There were 2 outs, bases empty in the first. Zimmerman homered opposite field. Adam Dunn went upper deck right field. Pitch out, ball 2. Morgan not running. Ronnie Paulino, 24% throwing out runners this year, 12 out of 50.
And that can't be too easy with all those tall pitchers, as slow as they are, probably delivering the ball to him.
Short lead. He's running despite a very short leadoff. The ball's in center field, but it took Nyjer a while to roll over and recollect himself.
I think the ball hit him.
And he has 33 steals on the year. It's harder to pop up when you go in head first. So that's 33. And with the Nationals, he has 15.
Let's see where the throw goes by Paulino here. As you see him take off, gets a great jump. Nice job by Vandenherk, but
and Hanley Ramirez is shaken up.
Yeah, I think he got him on the wrist.
Took his glove right off. Boy, he sure dives late into that bag, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, and that's why the other night in Pittsburgh he was knocked off the bag and tagged out. And Ramirez is still hurting, as you saw his glove come off with Nyjer. May have separated his shoulder.
It appears like they're massaging it, maybe trying to pop it back in.
The Exmo on the collision. You see him right there. The glove gets in there. He lands on top of his glove and his arm.
Morgan at second base, 1 out. Guzman has worked the count to 3-1 with 1 pitch out in there for ball 2. That's a fair ball. The Nats have another run. Guzman heading for second base, and he is there. 3-1 Nationals. And Guzman now has 14 RBIs in his last 12 games. Nyjer Morgan helping to manufacture a run.
Well, this is what being a veteran will do for you. 3-1. Most guys looking fastball. He gets a breaking ball, smokes it down the right field line. sure RBI, but then he's got to pick it up a notch to get into second base. It's actually a very good job by Cody Ross playing it off of that carom. Our guys don't even play it that well sometimes. Made it a play at second.
And Cody Ross throws left-handed, so he didn't have to wheel and fire to second base. Here's Zimmerman, first base open. How will the Marlins approach him? First pitch breaking ball for a strike.
Cody Ross made a heck of a play on Elijah Duke's ball in center field last night.
Yes, he did.
That's nice that they have the versatility to move him around.
Hard sinking fastball, missing. Ryan Zimmerman hot as the August weather, hitting .420 now over his last 12 games. Two and one.
See, what's funny is we see him play every day, so we have seen him struggle and expand his zone. When he was going bad, he was swinging at everything. Anything that was outside, anything that was inside, he was hacking. Now he's so comfortable and he's in such a zone. He's just basically what they would say spitting on those pitches. He's letting them go and picking out the one he wants to drive.
Tries to pull that outside pitch, cut off by Cantu. And that's the second out. After Zimmerman homered in the first, listen to what Niger Morgan had to say about Adam Dunn coming up.
Slider, you can see it. He's staying away. He's letting that little thing right away, just like on the film. Oh! And Nashtown, we just witnessed.
Yeah, Nashtown did witness a long ball. They're going to walk Dunn. It'll be the first walk of the game by Vandenhurk. And that's okay with the Nats if they want to take their chances with Josh Willingham. Adam Dunn walks for the 80th time this year. 82 for Pujols, 83 for Adrian Gonzalez. And now a visit from Mark Wiley. We're going to go a little early with our trivia tonight. Here's Medwick. Three players hit 2 homers in the same inning twice. Oops. How many days would it take to research this one? There's Josh, who struck out looking first time. The Nats lead by 2 here in the bottom of the third, and Willingham has a chance to put a big stamp on this game early. That's a foul. Interesting that Willingham and Zimmerman now have the identical number of career home runs. Willingham's hit 17 this year, Zimmerman 22, and they both have 80. And look at that, 13 RBIs his last 10 games, thanks in part, in large, to the 2 Grand Slam game in Milwaukee. Oh, they're really pounding him inside.
Well, could Tatis be one of them? Fernando Tatis hit 2 Grand Slams in 1 inning.
I think, but he would have to have done it twice. 2 home runs in
2 home runs
twice.
Yeah, right, and in his career.
Yeah, I don't know that he ever had another inning like that.
But he may.
Breaking ball, 1-2.
What about Albert Pujols? He's been on fire. 5 Grand Slams in 1 year.
Another one last night. They got shut out today, 9-0 at New York. 1-2 to Willingham. Vandenberg got that ball a little bit out over the plate, and Josh was able to fight it off. We are arriving at the 8 o'clock hour here on a warm summer night at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. 85 degrees at game time. Back-to-back homers. Zimmerman done, bottom of the first. Ugla, top of the second. Guzman an RBI here with a double, and the Nats lead 3-1, bottom of the third. And that's not an easy pitch to take on a 2-strike count. Big Elijah Dukes next. Hit the ball hard right at the center fielder first time. Willingham 40 RBIs in his last 68 games. He'll chop it. He's got a chance for a rare infield hit, and the bases are loaded. I'm sure Niger Morgan will have something to say about that. And Dukes will bat with the bases jacked and 2 outs now.
Well, right here, this is a full swing. The third baseman is back. Almost no chance from the onset right there for Cantu, who normally plays first base or outfield, because Bonifacio cannot play third base. He's over there now.
And a big spot for Dukes, who really hit the ball hard first time. Teams like to throw him breaking balls away. That one was high and missed. Here's the pitch that is his nemesis.
Well, he's got to step into it. We talked about Ryan Zimmerman. When he struggled, he was pulling off breaking balls. You have to dive and charge that ball and start hitting it to the right side.
First time for everything. Dukes hasn't hit a grand slam at this level. That's a hard sinker, 2-1. And a bunch of them on the bases. Guzman the double. Dunn walked intentionally. Willingham the infield hit. And that looked like a front door slider, maybe a cutter.
I think it was a slider. That was a good pitch.
87 on the slider, huh? Wow.
Yeah, I think he thought since where it was another sinker, and he was going to let it go.
And a fastball, but Dukes hits it right at Dan Ugla. The Nats leave 3. The first 3 they've stranded, and they left only 2 last night. What does he do here to gather himself after 3 rather long innings?
Well, he is getting it done. He's battling. This is one of those nights where you know you don't have your best stuff. You're not able to locate, but you have to keep attacking. And this is a difficult team to get out. They can score a lot of runs. They have a lot of team speed. So he's just got to keep trying to get some ground balls. If he makes a mistake, don't walk people and compound it. You know, you want to try to minimize the damage. So right now, try to go 6 or 7 strong, which is what he's capable of doing. We've never seen this guy give in, and that's the best part about John Lannon. He is our ace. He'll battle no matter what kind of stuff he has.
Ronnie Paulino bounced out to second first time up, leads off the 4th, way outside, 2-0. 56 pitches, 31 strikes for Lannon through a long 3 innings. Gets the corner there. Ronnie Paulino last winter was traded, actually in the spring, traded twice in 1 day.
Ouch.
The Pirates traded him to the Giants toward the end of spring training, and there's Lannon and his performance so far. March 27 to the Giants for left-hander Jack Tashner, and then on the same day to the Marlins for right-hander Hector Correa. So after 4 years with the Pirates and pretty good production, he was a .278 career hitter in those 4 years. He's now with the Marlins and sharing the duties with John Baker. 2-2, and Lannon gets the strikeout on a changeup away. Let's listen to Nyjer Morgan on that great play by Ryan Zimmerman.
Look at that defense. Oh, come on, make a play, kid. Make a play. There we go. T+, calling it. Way to hang tight, Johnny Lannon. That a boy.
Oh boy. T+ doing play-by-play. I'm shaking in my boots right now.
Yeah, T+ is coming for you, Carpenter.
He is. I wish him a long and prosperous playing career. I got 2 kids in college, Rob. I need this job for a while. And the 0-2 out of play to the right side by Emilio Bonifacio, who walked his first time up. What a personality Nyjer Morgan is. I'm not sure we knew what we were getting on Wired Wednesday. More than we've bargained for so far. Two and 2. Lannon tried to bury the off-speed pitch. Bonifacio wasn't biting. The pitcher's next. You can save yourself a lot of aggravation by retiring the number 8 man here. But he's high with it. The only home run Bonifacio has this year is an inside the park homer against the Nats. No reason not to challenge him. Sometimes a guy hits it hard right at one of your fielders. Adam Dunn has it. 2 outs. Pitcher coming up. Let's pay off our trivia and talk about players who've hit 2 home runs in the same inning twice. 3 of them have done it. Anybody have a tie to this game?
Dawson King McCovey.
Wow. Andre Dawson, former Expo.
There's a question that really had nothing to do with the series between our team and the Marlins.
Lannon suddenly putting a quick end to the top of the 4th inning. 2 strikeouts, the kind of inning John needed. He'll bat 3rd behind Belliard and Davis. 4th, Belliard, Nieves, and Landon. And on Wired Wednesday, more from the very shy Niger Morgan.
The umpire just asked me who can shoot the puck the hardest. And best believe Nashtown, I told him T-Plush on the ice can definitely shoot that burnt biscuit a lot harder than 100 miles an hour. You know, a lot of force comes out of this little body. Yeah.
I think he's lost his mind down there. This is unbelievable. Bottom of the 4th. Well, let's see. Let's get Mr. Ovechkin back in town, and then T-Plus can see how hard he hits the puck. Ronnie Belliard. See you later. Number 3 for Belliard. 3 for the Nets tonight, and a 4-1 lead over the Marlins.
Ronnie Belliard. Boy, do I really swing hard. Last
for
night,
Ronnie Belliard, his 106th home run.
Last night, he hit, as you said, a breaking ball as hard as we've seen him hit a ball this year. Maybe that got him a start tonight, maybe not, but I'll tell you, this guy, he's a veteran player. I've been watching him around the cage for the last few weeks, hits the ball, and as well as anybody on this team.
Here's Will Nieves. The Nats 3 homers tonight. 1 last night. They've hit 103 this year. And that's only 3 fewer than the power-laden Marlins have hit now.
It's not easy to play sparingly, especially at this level, but guy's got some talent still.
Ronnie appears to be on some sort of second-half drive here to prove himself offensively. Got his batting average over 200 over the weekend. 205 coming in. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Nieves takes a big swing and strikes out. For Vandenhurst, his 3rd K of the night. And John Lannon, coming off his best inning of the evening, will be the hitter here with 1 out in the 4th. Nats Park having a hard time holding long fly balls tonight in this hot, muggy weather. Been a kind of a high-scoring day in the National League. As I mentioned, the Mets at home shut out St. Louis 9-0. The Giants put 10 on the board, winning 10-6 at Houston. Atlanta from the East got a win in San Diego today, 6-2. All the other games are tonight. Marlins start tonight 5 back of the Phillies, who've lost 3 straight. And a swing and a tip into the glove of the catcher. And 2 outs here in the 4th. Top of the order. Here comes what's his name? Tonight's copyrighted telecast, presented by authority of the Washington Nationals, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. And Rob, maybe for our fans who weren't with us over the weekend, can you refresh their memory on just who Tony Plush is?
Tony Plush is the alter ego of Niger Morgan and his friends. They think they're the new Rat Pack that he grew up with.
Nick Johnson came charging in. Ugla wasn't at the bag yet. And that's kind of interesting that Nick Johnson was charging on a ball that was bunted to the 3rd base side of the pitcher's mound. And Niger Morgan has another leg hit.
Niger Morgan picked a great spot, a lot of home runs. Okay, I'll lay one down. I'll see how good Cantu is. And right there, Vandenhurst picks it up because Nick Johnson was charging. Nobody home at first.
You could hear the bouncing of the microphone on his 90-foot journey. He could be running with 2 outs. Hey, why not? You're up by 3. And then a base hit by Guzman could get the Nats another run and a 4-run lead. He's been an RBI machine lately. Long look, maybe a step off coming.
All right, so what was it? It was Joey Bishop, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr.
The original Rat Pack.
The original Rat Pack. So it's Tony Plush, and we'll have to get Niger to tell us his friend's imaginary Rat Pack. It would have been nice to hang around with those four guys.
There's some talent there.
Yes. Those Dean Martin roasts, by the way, are some of the funniest things ever.
I had lunch at the Friars Club in New York last year when we were up there, and the guy gave me some of the DVDs when I left, and I mean, you talk about funny stuff. Late night viewing, though.
Yes, because of children.
Yeah, kind of harsh language, but very funny. 2-0.
And a lot of fun poked at each other, though.
That's what's fun about it.
A lot of the comedians not only were funny, but they aimed it at each other.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that, you know, with all the censorship now today, I mean, they're smoking cigarettes, they're just flat out drinking whatever and having a heck of a time. My favorite's like when you see a ball.
Look at Guzman go to the wall again. They've got to send Niger Morgan. He will score. Guzman a triple. Nationals lead 5-1. And this offense is cooking right now. A homer by Belliard to lead off the inning, and another rally starting after 2 quick outs.
Well, and that's what speed will do for you. Cody Ross knows not only is Niger Morgan fast, so is Guzman, and he rushes to pick it up. He misses it completely. Guzman goes from second to third, and Niger Morgan easily scores.
There's the Guzman RBI streak that he's on, his 6th triple of the year. And the Nationals have 5 runs on 7 hits. Do you know that the only single they have tonight is Morgan's bunt and Willingham's infield hit? So 2 small ball, 1 base hits. Everything else double, triple home runs. And Zimmerman's coming up. Five extra base hits for the Nats tonight out of their 7 overall. Zimmerman has an opposite field homer. Tristan Guzman is creeping up on Miguel Tejada, who has 44 multi-hit games. And Zimmerman gets under one. Into the twilight to Bonifacio, having a hard time finding the ball. Now he does. And the umpire, Jim Wolf, was almost out there with him. A big inning for the Nats. 2 more runs and a 5-1 lead. D-backs Saturday, 7:05. Come out early. We've got bobbleheads for the first 15,000 fans through the gates. It's an Adam Dunn bobblehead night presented by PNC Bank. 888-632-NATS. Visit nationals.com. This will be one of the most popular events of the year. Come and join us at the ballpark for the Nats and the D-backs Saturday night. And just like that big billboard says along the highway, not actual size.
The head or the rest of the body? Because the head on his real body is like that, so kidding.
You know, if it was truly an Adam Dunn bobblehead, you could pull a string and it would bust your chops. He's a funny guy with a great sense of humor. Lennon working ahead, and Coughlin ducking out of the way, got his bat on the ball somehow.
This is a great example of pitching at the major league level by John Lennon tonight. Doesn't have much, doesn't have a good breaking ball, doesn't have a good fastball, isn't able to locate yet. He's getting everybody out, and he's got a 5-1 lead going into the 5th inning. Doesn't matter how you get it done, just get it done. Just win.
And a 2-2, Lannon, hanging breaking ball, base hit. Coughlin and Debbie Taylor, Nick Johnson and John Lannon. They know each other very well. They face each other here.
That's true, and so far John Lannon has retired Nick Johnson twice, but overall, who has the edge in this lefty-lefty matchup? I asked both of them.
I think I have the edge. I mean, he hits great against left-handers, but I've seen him hit for a while, you know. But he's also seen me pitch, so you know what? It's up in the air. I think it's pretty even right now. We'll see when it comes down to it. You know, I've been playing behind him. I know how it works, and you know, he throws strikes. He's a very good pitcher, so you know, you try to get a pitch over the middle of the plate and put a good swing on it.
John did admit to me too that he already misses Nick as a teammate, guys.
Well, I think all of us miss Nick in that respect. He's bounced out twice, once to Dunn, once to the shortstop, and he fouls it away. No balls, 2 strikes. On base 8 times for the Marlins already, and he was one of the few times in Major League history a player's gone to a new team. In his first game, he was on base 5 times. He jams him there, and Johnson got a piece of it. Nick, of course, will be a free agent at the end of the year. Where will he be? Whose uniform will he be wearing in 2010? Another bouncing ball. Dunn can't get it. Belliard does and then kicks it. And that allows the runner Coughlin to get over to third base. Nick Johnson will get a base hit. He's 1 for 3 against John Lannon. Now they've got their big guns coming up, and the 4-run lead is in quick jeopardy here.
It's about a 15 hopper through the infield. Gets by Dunn, gets by Belliard. He kicks it a little bit. Jumps on it. Coughlin with some speed goes all the way to third. So the Fish have something working here.
Nobody out. 3, 4, 5. Ramirez, Cantu, Ugla coming up. That's a double play ball. You'll give up the run to get those 2 outs. And the bases are empty now in a 5-2 game. Well played by Belliard and Guzman.
Nice ground ball pitch by John Lannon. 2 hopper to Belliard. Feed over to Guzzi, over to Dunn. As Bob said, no problem giving up a run to get a double play.
The Nats turn their 3rd double play in this series. Cantu now, 2 outs, bases empty. John Lannon's done some things to save himself lots of pitches in these last 2 innings. The 1-2-3-4, the double play, and a 1-pitch out to Cantu halfway through the game. 5-2 Nationals. Nats led early. Ronnie Belliard has gone yard, his third of the year. And the Nats dialing long distance with AT&T tonight. The nation's fastest 3G network, your world delivered. Look at that, the 1 through 4 guys, 5 hits, 4 runs, driving in 4, 2 home runs. Dan Uggla, his 20th in the second for the Fish. And Ronnie Belliard, his 106th career home run. And the Nats now are in to the Marlins bullpen, and this is former National Brian Sanchez. So he will take over for Rick Vandenherk, who threw 77 pitches, 47 strikes, and the Nats hit him hard in 4 innings, giving up 5 runs. To this point on 7 hits.
Well, I think if you're the Nationals, you go right back to work. You got to start scoring some more runs. 3 is never enough against a team like the Marlins.
Adam Dunn leads off against Sanchez, who pitched in 12 games with the Nats last year. They called him up on May 23rd. He was 2-0 here, but a high ERA. Walked into a couple of wins out of the bullpen, and he was 2-1 with 13 saves at the Nationals' then AAA in Columbus. The Indians are in Columbus now with their AAA, and they have a brand new ballpark there, which is really fantastic. And the Nats are happy to be affiliated with longtime AAA city Syracuse. 2-0 to Dunn, a homer, an intentional walk. 2-1. Phillies have stretched their lead over to Colorado 7-0 now. Jimmy Rollins, Jason Worth, Pedro Feliz all hitting homers tonight. The ball is carrying well on the eastern seaboard this evening. It's interesting because at this time last night, with Josh Johnson mowing down the Nats, the Marlins look like a lock to be 4 games out of first place. Nats came back and beat them. And now if these results hold up, they'll be 6 out. A long way to go in this ball game, bottom of the 5th. And a 3-2 to Dunn. Target in. Adam pops it up out of play, left side. And it's interesting what the Marlins do. Freddie Gonzalez leaves Hanley Ramirez at short, and he takes his third baseman, Jorge Cantu, and overlaps him to that position out there right by the umpire. That's where the third baseman is playing. Either Ramirez doesn't like moving around, or Freddie would just rather leave him there. Adam Dunn gets under one and flies to left for Chris Coghlan. But in front of him, Ramirez, the shortstop, will take it for the first out here in the 5th. Friday night's Miller Lite Party Night in Nats Town. The D-backs are coming Friday. $20 or $22 for a premium game gets you a scoreboard pavilion seat and a free drink at the bar. Soda water or beer. Pre-game live band. Post-game fireworks. 888-632-NATS or Nationals.com. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. Here's Willingham. Josh with an infield hit first time. Willingham was drafted by the Marlins in the 17th round in 2000 out of the College of North Alabama. Nick Johnson over by the barrier, not reachable. And Josh Willingham's a player who paid his dues. He was in the minor leagues in the Florida organization for 5.5 years. During that time, he hit .278, averaged just under 20 home runs a year. Then he finally got the call for 12 games in 04, 16 games the year after that, and he broke through in 06 with 26 homers and 74 RBIs. And Josh is one of those guys who got Rookie of the Year votes.
Well, they had projected him as a catcher, and for a lot of years he was catching down in the minor leagues. They thought he would be a viable catcher at the major league level. Then they took him from there and put him in the outfield, and Josh's own admission, he didn't think he was a very good outfielder. He has made himself into a pretty decent corner outfielder.
Yes, he has. Did he go? Home plate umpire says no.
I mean, if you even think about, Vandenherk, he hasn't been pitching all that long. If it wasn't for the international scout saying, hey, we think you should be a pitcher, he'd be a 6'5" catcher. He'd look like a Matt Wieters out there. I played against a couple. Mark Parent was a big, tall catcher. Didn't last that long.
3-2 to Josh. Right into the glove of Brian Sanchez. Right to the glove side, and Leather waiting for a screamer. 2 outs.
That's why it's important to finish off, come back and be ready to field your position. You're 50 feet from the hitter, and this is just a smash, and thankful it wasn't hit right at his body. Hit to the side, he's able to pick it.
Sanchez has a birthday coming up this week. He'll be 31 years of age. And then some of those years might have passed before his eyes there in a second or two. Here's Dukes. It's way outside to Elijah. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rob, I'm sure you've had an experience or two like that.
Yeah, when I thought it was time to get out of the game. I threw a pitch to Eddie Murray in spring training one time, and they said it was clocked in the upper 90s. I don't know how I caught it, but it was right at my face. Because I didn't finish up the way, like, say, Greg Maddux finishes up to field their position. My back was to home plate. I looked up, and it was eye high, and I don't know. I just caught it.
Dukes has lined out twice, once to center, once to second, so Elijah's staying on the ball here. That's a good trend that'll serve him well. There are times when he's a dead pull hitter, and he's very susceptible to those breaking balls away.
Well, and I wouldn't say it's about anybody else, but he can get the bat through the zone so quickly. You can't throw a fastball by him. I almost would like to see him move up on the plate, so they try to come in on him a little more.
3-1, he takes it. Elijah doesn't walk a whole lot. That's 21 times the entire year, but he's aboard with 2 outs. And the Nats have shown an ability to restart rallies with 2 outs lately. Ronnie Belliard homered his last time up. A lot of hitting room on the right side.
You just think if Jesus Flores were healthy, to have Jesus at the bottom of the order with his power,
his clutch hitting, RBI bat,
I think this team would be scoring well over 5 runs a game.
Yeah. Well, right now the Nats have the 4th highest batting average in the league at 265. They're 8th in runs. They put 5 more on the board tonight and have 484. And they've hit 103 home runs. They're not that far behind the Marlins, who've hit 106.
Yeah, but the Nationals are still the worst in Major League Baseball in pitching, and they've got to get older quick.
Yeah,
you can't run 4 rookies out there next year. This offense is too good. It's just wasting a good offense.
And with all the runs the Nats have scored, Rob, they've given up 103 more than they've scored. That's a really bad differential. Dukes is off and running. He got a great jump. The throw beats him there, and he's out. So Dukes nailed stealing. Belliard will lead off the 6th. The Nats lead at 5-2.
Confirmation on this. Doesn't the second base umpire kind of look like John Cena? You can't see me. Game's the other way, John Cena.
Is John Cena, who is a WWE wrestler and movie star.
Would Jim Wolfe be considering that a compliment?
No, because John Cena. Well, yeah. John Cena is massive.
Okay.
Huge guy. Saw him a lot, interviewed him a lot at my old job, and in a couple of movies. I think it's The Marine and 12 Blocks.
Elijah Dukes running a route toward the line, grabs the fly ball of Ugla, and that's how the top of the 6th starts. John Lennon battling. He's in the mid-80s on his pitch count, and he has a chance to get 7 tonight. Everybody's smiling, having a good time at the ballpark. A lot of people, and I heard this on the radio today, some chatter, consider last night's game to maybe be the best home game of the year. Now, it certainly didn't look that way for 7 innings. But there's nothing like a late excitement at the ballpark to send everybody home with a hop and a little extra skip to their step. In fact, one of the Marlins broadcasters remarked to me how impressed he was with how the crowd stayed right to the end of the game last night. You know, there are a lot of places people would have been clearing out after the 7th inning. But they stayed.
Fans.
They stayed and they were rewarded.
I don't think these fans ever leave early. They're great fans.
And a pop up to the right side on a play. A treat in one hand, a deflected ball in the other, and a souvenir.
I don't know if you saw the replay of the guy with a catch the other night. He had a baby in one hand, a beer in the other hand, and he caught the foul ball and didn't drop either one.
That ball hacked.
Yeah.
And turning around is Willingham. The ball had overspin on it and dove on him. Off the bat, that ball looked like it was going to the wall, and Willingham took off, and then it dove on him off the bat of Cody Ross.
Well, Ross is a Nationals killer. And right here, Josh overruns the ball. You see it with the Exmo. Great job, guys.
You're going to give him an error on that play.
That's a tough error. That ball was smoked. As you said, tomahawked.
You know, that ball had such severe overspin on it, it dove straight down. Willingham charged with his 5th error of the year. I think you might have 2 ball clubs who'd like to see that one changed. 99th error of the year by the Nats. Tyler Clippard getting ready as John Lannon's thrown 90 pitches while getting 16 outs. He faces Ronnie Paulino, who goes out of play right side. One thing I'm noticing, though, here we are in the 6th inning, and John's had a long night, but a lot of his fastballs, guys are still getting around late. Two and one. Lannon throws a strike. Zimmerman can't get it. Cody Ross to third. 2 men on, 1 out. That ball hit hard.
Paulino hits this hard off the dirt in front of home plate, takes an extra skip and gets by Zim.
And here's the pesky Emilio Bonifacio. He's walked and hit the ball hard right at Adam Dunn. Same situation.
Here comes Steve McCaddy.
The Marlins had last inning, 1st and 3rd. It was nobody out then. 1 out here. The double play ball was huge. And John Lannon in hot water 1 inning later.
I think this is to get some more time for Tyler Clippard.
I had a chance to chat with Mark Wiley in the Marlins clubhouse today. He has a great deal of respect for Steve McCaddy and the job that he's done over here. And Wiley has helped develop some young guns of his own with Freddie Gonzalez in that Florida organization. 2 outstanding pitching coaches who've been around a long, long time. That man has left a positive impact wherever he's been. Bonifacio, pitcher spot next. And a pinch hitter in Ross Glode standing on deck.
Well, you have a very slow runner in Paulino at first and a very fast runner. So whatever you do, you just got to try to get an out.
Bonifacio not good at all in these situations. Lannon nibbling, and he gets a strike, and Emilio doesn't like the call. With 1 out, Cody Ross reached 2nd on the error by Josh Willingham. Could have been ruled a hit. And then Paulino with a base hit. Corner situation, 1 out.
Ooh, look out.
Yeah. 1-2 count here. Breaking ball and a strikeout. Bonifacio gone for the 2nd out. We talked about this last night. The Marlins are a little short on their bench. They're going to use a left-handed pinch hitter here. Not Wes Helms, Ross Glode, and that's a big out on the Bonifacio strikeout.
Well, Adam Dunn's coming in to say, I'm playing behind Paulino. So we'll try to pick him off because I won't be there.
Evidently, Freddie Gonzalez is going to save Wes Holmes for a later situation, even though the tying run is in the batter's box here.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you want to have 9 guys in your bullpen because you don't get a lot of complete games out of your starting rotation. That's the drawback. Less guys on the bench.
Gload is a very good pinch hitter, though, this year in terms of hits. 13 hits, a homer, 11 RBIs. As a pinch hitter, he's 13 for 45, which is .289. Landing ahead, now he gets another strike on the foul ball.
Well, 2 off-speed breaking balls right there, I think, confused Gload. He was even late on a 79-mile-an-hour pitch. Sean
Burnett joining Clippard here. And you have the feeling one of them will be pitching the 7th inning if John Lennon gets out of this. The 0-2. Fastball up and in. Top of the 6th inning, 5-2 Nats. Hits are even at 7. Lennon gets in looking. Strikeouts number 5 and 6 at very opportune times for John Lannon. And the Nats still lead by 3. By PNC Bank. PNC leading the way. John Lannon wiggling out of some big-time trouble tonight. He's kept the Marlins through 6 to 2 runs. That's huge. And the Nats lead by 3. Ronnie Belliard was at the plate when Elijah Dukes was caught stealing in the 5th. And Ronnie taking that big swing of his, Rob Dibble, and connecting big time.
Well, if it's in his wheelhouse and he connects, it's going to go a long way. Last couple of years, 11 home runs. The year before, 11 home runs. So he can hit them. I just think, he's playing sparingly, so he doesn't get an opportunity to get a lot of at-bats in consecutive days.
Luis Ayala started the season with Minnesota. He was 1-2 with a 4.18 ERA in 28 games. They let him go. The Marlins picked him up as a minor league free agent. He signed that contract on July 4th. 3 games in New Orleans and right back to the big leagues for the former Nats Chad Cordero setup man, who has not been the same since he insisted on pitching in the WBC back in 06. And for Florida, Ayala, 7 games and a 5.06 ERA. Yeah, buddy.
No, this will be for
This is B-roll.
He's got a good slider. When Luis keeps the ball down and works the sides of the plate, he's pretty effective. When he has to throw a strike, he's in trouble. He's ahead here 0-2. And Belliard flies to center for Emilio Bonifacio. 1 out here in the 6th. Will Nieves coming up, and with a young organization like ours, Debbie Taylor, we're always keeping an eye on the minor leagues.
And especially this name. How about Aaron Thompson? He's the left-handed starter the Nats acquired from Florida for Nick Johnson. Now, he had a rough first inning against the Binghamton Mets in his Nationals organizational debut. He gave up 3 runs on 4 hits with 2 strikeouts in the first, but he did settle down after that and retired the next 7. So he finished the night with 5 innings pitched, 5 Ks, and 3 walks. And a member of the Marlins organization told me that Jeffrey Loria, the owner of the team, was the one that really made a push for this trade to happen. The player development people did not want to give Thompson up, so he was very highly thought of in that organization. Bob?
Thank you, Debbie Taylor. Well, that's good news for the Nats in terms of that young pitcher. Now here is the major league debut after 11 and a half years in the minor leagues for Jorge Padilla. The Nats called him up today after signing him to a minor league free agent contract November 27th of 07. He hit .330 at AA Harrisburg and .312 at AAA Columbus last year, and it was leading the International League at Syracuse when he got called up today. He was batting .367 there with a .424 on base average, and he made the International League All-Star team.
And by the way, I did see the thing on Austin Kearns' thumb when we were in Pittsburgh, and it's a lot worse than a contusion. It's more like a blister, callus growth in his thumb that I would think they're going to have to either cut out or shave it down or do something.
Jim Rugelman used the word lance today. And if any of you have ever had any kind of cyst, you know that is a painful procedure.
Yeah, it is hard as a rock, and it's on the inside of his thumb.
Padilla,
and I guess he's had it for quite a while. So a lot of that extra work that you do hit until your hands bleed, literally, and it's worked itself into something that's so bad that he can't play.
Jorge Padilla is from Puerto Rico, went to high school in Florida at Florida Air Academy, 23 miles from the Nats spring training ballpark in Vieira. And he lines one to right, but it'll hang up and be caught by Cody Ross. Nationals go in order in the bottom of the 6th inning. John Lannon's out of the game. It's up to the bullpen now with a 3-run lead.
the world's most refreshing beer. So the base is loaded a little bit earlier. Ryan Zimmerman knocks it down, leaves his feet, lays out right here, frees it. He is airborne and hits the ground hard. Already has a sore left shoulder from being drilled the other night. So Coors Light freeze cam on our star third baseman, laying out to get it done.
The kid's playing some ball right now. Top 7, top of the order for the Marlins. A big inning for Sean Burnett, who made 2 situational appearances in Pittsburgh and got his one man both times. And that ball over the head of Belliard, and this Chris Coughlin kid has 5 hits in this series now. He's 5 out of 9. Not a high on base percentage yet, but he's serving as a pretty good table setter. And Jorge Sosa is getting ready. These Marlins will not stop battling you. 2 hits 2 innings ago. A hit. Could have been 2 last inning, and now a leadoff base hit here in the 7th. Nick Johnson coming up. How about that? 5 out of 7. When Nick was a Nat and Burnett was a Pirate. And Burnett pitched in 13 games for the Pirates back in '04. Nick was with Montreal back then. Saw each other a bit at that time. It's 9 o'clock in our nation's capital, top of the 7th inning. And the Nats lead 5-2 over the Marlins. 18,312. I'd run away too if I had to show that. Come on, you're better than that. 2-1.
That made Screech screech. Guy flashing the camera. Never know in live TV.
Ball 3. Nick Johnson on base once tonight, with an infield hit last time between the gloves of Dunn and Belliard. Johnson has grounded into 12 double plays this year. 1 as a Marlin. The Nats have turned 1 tonight, 3 in this series.
One of the things that made Nick so tradable, the .343 batting average against left-handers.
2 on, nobody out.
A .452 on base percentage.
Wow.
So it is. Now that on base percentage goes up.
Well, this is pacing time for the Nats manager, Jim Riggleman. If there's an out or 2 here, there's no doubt the left-hander faces Hanley Ramirez. Well, with 2 men on and nobody out, he's not going to face him. Looks like Jorge Sosa will have his second appearance with the Nats be just as crucial or more so than the first over at Pittsburgh. He did give up a run in 1 inning, but the Nats still had the lead in that game, and they hope for the same in the 7th inning here tonight.
how you do it. Because if you see, if the pitcher has a ball in his glove, you know he doesn't have that little snap. But if he keeps it in his hand, he's got the snap, so you got to be careful.
Interesting stuff with Niger Morgan and Elijah Dukes in terms of getting your lead off based on where the ball is in possession of the pitcher. Wired Wednesday with Niger Morgan, and now the plot thickens as Jorge Sosa makes his Nationals home debut. He pitched in the 7th inning Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh, gave up a run on a home run by Delwyn Young, but the Nats still had the lead at that time. He faces one of the most dangerous hitters in the league in Hanley Ramirez and snaps off a great breaking ball. These Florida hitters know Sosa. He was with the Mets for 62 games in 07 and 08, and the Braves around a trip twice with Atlanta to St. Louis in 05-06. In fact, he has started 88 games in the big leagues. Fastball up, 2-1. Hanley Ramirez 2 for 3 tonight. 2 singles. A double play ball that helped the damage be limited to 1 run in the 5th inning. After the Marlins had 1st and 3rd, nobody out. And Ramirez pops it up. Right field, long run, Dukes and the infielders, and Elijah gets there and drops the ball. No error to be given on that play.
I don't know how you can give an error on that play. It's a great effort.
Yeah, you know, we talked about this before. It seems to be the one thing that separates Niger Morgan from other outfielders. He will run full speed, and he always seems to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, and that's the toughest thing about being an outfielder or anybody running down a ball. Your head is moving. You're trying to pick up the flight of the ball, and you're also feeling Ronnie Belliard and Dunn coming in on you. I watched Ichiro make a play behind the tarp in Kansas City yesterday. It was just unbelievable. He could have really been injured.
3-2 now.
Slid in between the tarp and the fence and still made the catch. That's why he's got a few gold gloves at his house, besides other things.
And a big 3-2 pitch in the 7th inning coming. That was a breaking ball, hanging up and in. Jorge Cantu on deck. As we thought back in the 6th inning, they changed Cody Ross's drive to left to a double, taking away the air on Willingham. And that's the correct call. 1 inning later, the Marlins have a 2-on, nobody out. 3-2 pitch again. Ground ball, Zimmerman. He bobbles and has to settle for the force at third. He had designs on a 5-4-3 double play, kept his wits about him and got the lead runner.
Well, this is a hard shot. Looked like a tailor-made double play. Picked his head up, though, to start the play before he got the ball. And he does get the one out. And you know you got Hanley Ramirez running it full speed. He's one of the fastest guys in the league. Try to get rid of the ball a little bit early. That's right. Speed on their side caused that play.
Here's Jorge Cantu. Double play still in order with one out. Cantu tonight a double in 3 trips. Any way you cut it, that was a huge out. There's a breaking ball for a strike. And Rob, I think it's pretty obvious. At the age of 32, Jorge Sosa still has a really good arm.
Oh, without a doubt. But once again, we talked about this in Pittsburgh. He has great ability, great stuff. His tempo is so slow. He slows down the tempo, and it's tough to make defensive plays behind this guy.
No swing. 1 ball, 1 strike.
See if he breaks the plane right here. Oh, yes, he does.
That's unfortunate.
And you made the comment on Josh Johnson last night. The great tempo that he had didn't work out well for him, but he still is one of the best pitchers in baseball.
And Cantu hits a high drive to center. Nyjer Morgan is there. Nick Johnson acting like he's going to tag. Here's a throw to third, and it's way short. And both runners move up. Morgan might have been better off throwing that ball into second.
Absolutely.
He had no shot. And because of that, the Marlins have 2 runners in scoring position, not 1.
Well, this is stuff that the Nationals have been doing all season, but not of late.
Guzman has his hands up, doesn't he?
Christian Guzman is calling for this to hit the cutoff, and Nyjer goes against fundamental baseball stuff and tries to throw Nick out at third. You can't always make a super play. Sometimes you take the smart play, keep that guy at first. As Bob said, now you have 2 runners out there. Base hit is a 5-4 game instead of 5-3.
And a big spot with Dan Uggla. He's homered and walked. And Sosa misses. He's got about 87, 88 going on that hard slider. Dan Uggla is at the 20 home run mark again. 4th consecutive year. 27, 31, 32, and now 20.
You still have first base open, and this guy can hurt you big time if you make a mistake.
Ball 3 with Cody Ross waiting. Cody Ross has a double in 3 trips tonight. One of Mike Rizzo's signings while he was with the Arizona Diamondbacks was Dan Uggla for $1,000 out of the University of Memphis.
That's a good sign, but wasn't he a Rule 5 to the Marlins?
Yes.
Pretty good Rule 5.
Oh, yeah.
Good evaluators over there. How about Santana? Rule 5 from the Astros to the Twins. Wish they had him back in Houston, don't they?
Yeah, that's lightning in a bottle right there. 3-1. Another strike on the corner.
Well, he drops below the 3/4 right here, and he throws a nice little slide piece outside Black. Gets the ball. Pitch track right there.
This pitch could decide how the rest of this night's going to go. And a 3-2 with 2 men aboard. On a pitch up. And that's why you don't throw to second base on the previous play. It gets the Marlins an extra run, and now it's 5-4. One of those runs, in fact, both of them charged to Sean Burnett. 5-4 now. Ugla delivers his second and third RBIs of the night.
Well, this pitch is too fat right here. He goes for the strike instead of the strikeout. Right across the heart of the plate, 3-2. Whacked right back up the middle. And because Niger didn't hit the cutoff on the previous play, Hanley Ramirez, who should be at second right now, scores easily.
Here's Cody Ross tying runs aboard. 1-run game in the 7th. And the one that hurts is the walk to Nick Johnson, who is a very selective hitter. Nick has walked 68 times this year, but anytime you walk anybody who scores late in the ball game, helps make things a little tighter. And the 0-1 to Ross.
Throwing a lot of sliders here. Wouldn't be a bad place to throw low 90s chest high in.
And Ross is gone. 7th inning stretch time. The Nationals still have the lead. It's just not what it was a little earlier. Niger Morgan will lead off at the bottom of the 7th. The Wired Wednesday for him. He's been on base twice. He has scored 2 runs tonight. Jefferson Memorial, beautiful on this Wednesday evening in August. Niger Morgan's had another active night in the field and on the base paths.
Oh, T+. You can't come in there.
Isn't that fun to watch going first to home on a Kristen Guzman triple? Niger Morgan giving us our money's worth and a little bit more on the Wired Wednesday. And he will lead off in the bottom of the 7th against left-hander Reniel Pinto. Pinto 3-1, good ERA. 37 strikeouts, but control's been an issue for him. 27 walks to go with those 30 hits this year. In the 39 innings he's pitched. Time to keep pressing the issue if you're the Nats.
Well, I said this about 3 innings ago. You can't stop. And once you got Vandenherk out of the game, Got to keep putting runs up there. 3 runs was not a big lead against the Marlins.
Morgan shows bunt, takes a strike. He has his 122nd hit of the night. So does Zimmerman. They started the night tied for 9th in the National League in base hits. He has stolen his 33rd and scored twice. He was able to lay off that inside fastball. 2-1. Christian Guzman's had a great night. Another multi-hit game, his 42nd. Miguel Tejada had 1 hit in Houston's loss today, so he still has 44 multi-hit games. And Guzman will get a chance to add another hit to his resume coming up after Nyjer Morgan, who walks, leading off the 7th. Byron Kerr, Ray Knight here at the ballpark, and the Nats are trying to give it back-to-back to the Marlins after losing the first 9 games this year and 10 in a row overall. It goes down as a quality start for John Lennon, who really battled his way through 6 innings on 2 runs. And 12:30 tomorrow, Craig Stammen, Chris Volstad. Will it be a rubber game, or will the Nats be going for a sweep? Guzman this year from the right side, batting .216. Morgan gets a jump. He is there and just gets beyond a very good throw by Ronnie Paulino. He made a great throw to get Dukes ending the 5th, and he made up some serious ground here on Nyjer Morgan.
Well, Pinto has a slow move to the plate. Great jump by Nyjer Morgan. And as we've said, he slides right by the bag. And his foot was off the bag again. So if Ugglas stays on the tag, he might have been out.
Guzman looking to move the runner now. The count's 1-1.
Well, you can see right here, I don't even think he tagged him, but as he keeps going, his feet come off the bag. He's got to learn to at least, I agree with you, slide feet first. At least he can pop back up and maybe go to third on a bad throw, but he keep going by the bag.
And Guzman rocks one to left field. Here comes Morgan. And he will go back as Pat Listash stopped him. Coughlin did hit the cutoff man. You don't want to make the first out at home with nobody out. And the Nats are brewing a big inning here, and Christian Guzman continues to be phenomenal with the bat.
He's a homer shy of the cycle now. This is a shot that one hops Coughlin. This is the proper call right here by Pat Listash. He's got a good bead on Nyjer. Already has the ball at that point when he hits the bag. He would have been dead at home plate. So Pat Listash did a great job of holding him up, especially with no outs.
And Zimmerman coming up. Then Dunn. And the Nats continue to generate offense. Now the Marlins have 10 hits tonight, and last night they had 11, but they've only scored 4 runs each time. The Nats have been very economical. 6 runs, 8 hits last night, 5 runs, 8 hits tonight, and Ryan Zimmerman went oppo in the first inning.
Well, when Ryan Zimmerman's going well, he's as good an opposite field hitter as there is in this league. Right there, he proved it at this ballpark. What, second guy ever to go out to the bullpen?
Only second right-hander. And of all people, Will Nieves was the other. Ryan looking for RBI number 72 here. Maybe more. Guzman a short lead as Pinto checks him, and that's well inside for a ball. Blinding speed at third, very good speed at first, and a hot bat in the box. 2-0. And a ground ball hit hard to third. A play at second, and Zimmerman beats it. Jorge Cantu took a glance at Nyjer Morgan, and that might have cost him the double play. But he wanted to hold Morgan at third. And here's what Adam Dunn did back in the first inning against Rick Vandenhert. So the Nationals narrowly avoiding a critical double play. The infield's in on the left side, but it doesn't look like Dan Uggla's too eager to play in on the right side. And this is one way that teams cannot shift on Adam Dunn if there are enough runners on base. He takes a fastball in there from Pinto.
Low.
92 miles an hour for a strike.
This pitch earlier in the night was a ball to Dan Uggla. This is a 6'6" guy up there.
Off speed 0-2.
After that low first strike, he's got a swing at the low one. Not even close. Great camera work on the Exmo.
Now we'll see if Adam Dunn can do some contact work. He's homered and walked tonight. Target away. Way upstairs. Bottom of the seventh inning. Nats lead 5-4. The Marlins just scored twice. The Nats are trying to get at least one of those runs back. Won't happen there. 2 outs. You had a bad feeling after Adam Dunn took that first fastball that was called for a strike. It was the only one he saw.
Well, and a couple of really good breaking balls by Pinto. That one was way outside. Adam not even close to this one.
Freddie Gonzalez has been warming up Brendan Donnelly for 2 nights. He's finally going to get into the ball game to face Josh Willingham here. 2 on, 2 out in the 7th. matinee for you tomorrow, 12:30 on Masson 2. And you never know who might be watching. Chris Volstad, 8-9, 4.35 ERA. For the Fish, 2 starts against the Nats. He has a good ERA, 3.86. Craig Stammen will cover the bases with him as he tries to win his 4th Major League game. Coverage at noon with Byron Kerr and Ray Knight from right here at Nationals Park. Well, Rob, you've seen this guy a lot in the American League. Brendan Donnelly, once making 276 appearances for the Angels over 5 years, one of the most effective relievers in the American League.
Well, he doesn't throw very hard, but he does throw a lot of balls that move, and his herky-jerky mechanics. And that's a lot of his deception.
88 on that one, high strike.
I think his delivery was 88 miles an hour. Got a lot of arms and legs coming at you.
Willingham, 1 for 3 with an infield hit. Morgan still at third.
I think the guy's name was it Doug Bockler?
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah, from San Diego.
Every time he threw, my shoulder hurt. This is the delivery right here. You'll see him drop. He's got the hand coming up, body, head, everything flailing, and then you get 88.
Yeah, appears to be looking at the upper deck, not home plate.
Any way he can be effective.
2-1. Field and Cobra says it's outside. This guy began his major league career at the age of 30 in 02 for Seattle after the White Sox originally signed him 17 years ago.
I think he played 10 years in the minor leagues like Ben Weber and finally got his shot the big time.
Willingham on a pitch up, foul tips it. He saw a fastball. He was hopping on it. 91. The count's 2-2. This ball game will have to go through the top 3 hitters at least in the Marlins lineup one more time. So here in the 7th inning, the Nationals would love to get a run to double that lead.
Right here, you'll take anything. Base hit right back up the middle.
Willingham late. I don't think he threw a pitch below belt high. And Donnelly strikes out Willingham. It's a 1-run game into the 8th inning. And the home team still on top. You can follow your Nats on your iPhone and iPod Touch with MLB.com at Bat 2009. You'll feel like you're getting your own bat ready to get in there, featuring play-by-play video highlights and live audio broadcasts. Visit Nationals.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch. Get some rosin to go with it, and you can purchase.
Brendan Donnelly signed in 1992. Was a 27th round pick. Signed for $5,000. He says he got his wife an engagement ring and he got this chain, he said, around my neck. That was it.
There's a swing and a breaking ball. Paulino fouls one. He's 1 for 3 tonight. All right, the Nats have 6 outs to get. Sosa still in the game. Ron Valone is warming up.
Donnelly was released 8 times.
Sosa's pitching for his 9th organization. Guzman to Dunn for a very important first down here in the 8th inning. Next up, Emilio Bonifacio. Some league notes for you. Albert Pujols hit grand slam number 5 for St. Louis last night in extra innings. Roy Oswalt's lower back has been giving him problems for Houston, and they need him in the wild card race. And in Minnesota, they used to call him Everyday Eddie. He's in Texas now. 21st pitcher to appear in 900 games. How many did you end up with?
I don't know, 300 and something.
Here's Emilio Bonifacio. Jeremy Hermida, left-handed batter. It's a pinch hit in a moment. And if the Nats went with Ron Valone, they could bring in Wes Helms.
We just saw a guy in Pittsburgh, Kent DeColby, appeared in over 1,000 games.
Yeah. Little chopper, Zimmerman charges. On the run, Bonifacio gone. 2 outs.
Well, he's got a really good breaking ball going. He's inducing ground balls. Great job right here by Zim. Bob talks about how hard you have to charge the ball, cut off that in-between. Here's the Exmo. You got to cut off that in-between hop, because if it's short hops, and he doesn't make the play. But charging that ball hard against that speed. There you see Adam Dunn snow coning the ball at the end.
And the pitcher needs to get down and do a push-up there, so he gets out of the way. Bases empty, 2 outs. Jeremy Hermida, home run power. In a ball game earlier this year, he drove in 5 runs after the 8th inning to get the Marlins tied, then get him a win. The Nats took care of him for the most part last night. 1 for 5 with a single. And Sosa goes right after him, misses low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now he gets a couple outs. He's actually working at a pretty good pace right now.
He is, isn't he?
A little bit of jump in his step.
And he's a reliever, Rob, who when nobody's on base is pitching off the full windup. So many these days use the stretch no matter what. Of course, Sosa is a former starter. As mentioned, 88 major league starts. He knows all about the full windup.
Well, don't throw a strike, put it in the dirt. I think even Will's saying that, put it in the dirt.
1-2 pitch. Had him reaching and struck him out. And a 1-2-3 for Sosa. He retires 6 of the 7 men he faces over 2 innings. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Nats still lead. They'll face Matt Lindstrom. More on him in a moment. And right now, more on the Potomac Nationals. They want you to join the party later this week. Great baseball, exciting promotions. They have a Thursday Cheers Ladies Night. Pre-championship pennant on Freebie Friday. Saturday fireworks, and the kids eat free on Sunday. Family fun days. Log on to PotomacNationals.com or call 703-590-2311. Real baseball. Real close. It's only a half hour away. Matt Lindstrom was the closer for the Marlins. 14 of 16 in saves. June 24th, the DL with a right elbow strain. Actually a sprain. And Rob, since then, Leo Nunez from the right side and Dan Meyer from the left side have been splitting the closer duties.
Well, he may not be able to go every day, and the closer has to be able to pitch every day. Maybe just trying to get him back to the point where he can be the everyday closer.
Here's Elijah Dukes. Mike McDougal starting to pile up some saves.
Well, he's getting quality work now. He's getting save opportunities.
3 in a row.
Well, 2 81-mile-an-hour breaking balls, and this is the guy who can throw 100 miles an hour.
Yep.
I'm not thinking he's 100%.
I don't think Elijah Dukes ever sees a fastball until the third or fourth pitch of it at bat. And then it's usually just to show him. There's one. Near the knees, outside half. 2 balls, 1 strike. Elijah tonight 0 for 2 with a walk. He hit 2 line drives and retired earlier. 3 for 17 in 5 ball games since his return. That ball had some movement on it. 93. Lindstrom, still just 28 years old. 5 saves for the Marlins last year. And then Kevin Gregg went on to the Cubs. He had the job this year but got hurt. And Dukes hits one to center. That ball scorched, and he lines out for the 3rd time tonight. Twice to Bonifacio. Ronnie Belliart's 1 for 3. And a long ball back in the 4th inning.
Little man with power. Hung a breaking ball. He put a charge into it. Well, you don't need a home run right here. What you need is a couple of base runners.
Yep.
Try to get one more run across here before the 9th inning.
Marlins have the top of their order due up in the 9th. And Belliard jacks one to left center. Man, that ball's hit hard. And Coughlin over to grab it. 2 lasers by the Nats and 2 outs.
2 lasers.
Laser. And here's Will Nieves. After months of working with you now, I find myself mesmerized by movies because
so you're thinking Austin Powers.
Well,
Can I get a frickin' laser on a shark, please?
I hear things that I've already heard at the ballpark now when I watch television. Oh, you're turning me into a crazy man, and I love it.
I'm sorry.
Here's Nieves 0 for 3. It's fun when you're winning and ahead in the ball game. And the Nats trying to make it 4 in a row tonight. Will Nieves, 2 ground balls and a strikeout. On deck, Willie Harris if the inning goes any further. Bottom 8, 5-4 Nats, 2 outs. 1-1. There's Willie. And there's another outfield guy in the barn now that Padilla has been called up. That's a pretty good stable of talent that Jim Riggleman has to call on. Big breaking ball to Will. Looks like Will Nieves has been in pull mode lately, and his forte is stepping into the ball and hitting it to right field.
Agreed. His forte is to dive and hit in between first and second, not step in the bucket and try to pull those breaking balls.
Greg Stammen pitches in that matinee tomorrow.
Much better. Stepped into the 98.
Phillies won their game tonight 7-0 at home. Behind J.A. Happ, who's now 8-2. They shut out the Rockies. And final just in.
A lot of people speculating in the wrong sense, saying they should put Happ in the bullpen and move Pedro into the rotation. That kid has done nothing but fabulous since he got in the rotation.
Well, now that they have Cliff Lee, isn't Pedro like the 6th man in a 5-man rotation?
Well, Moyer's been getting beat up, and he got beat up last night again.
So maybe against certain ball clubs with right-handers, you could pitch Pedro. Huh?
But Happ, in like his last 8 starts, 7 innings plus, a couple of 9-inning jobs. I mean, he's solid.
2-2 to Will. He does pull the ball out to the shortstop, Hanley Ramirez. We're going to the top of the 9th. Mike McDougall has saved 3 consecutive games. It's 5-4 Nats. 3 outs to get. Chris Coughlin 2 for 4 tonight. He's a first pitch swinger, but McDougall misses outside. And McDougall gets a strike. One and one to Coughlin, who's had 5 hits in this series.
2-1. Well, you said it last half inning. You have to have a closer who can pitch every day.
Yep.
It's becoming that for Mike McDougall. And the bat into the dirt, fortunately. And the count now 2-2.
Well, and for a guy that needs to repeat his delivery and repeat his mechanics over and over and over, maybe it is the best thing for Mike to throw every day.
Yeah.
You know, the problem is, like in golf, when you start thinking about your mechanics, and that means throwing a ball, and you think, okay, where was my release point? Where were my hands? Where were my shoulders? I mean, that's when you get into problems. And the one thing that Mike's been able to do is, even though he's walked some people, and he's got a bad walk to strikeout ratio, he's still throwing strikes when he needs them. And you see his catcher shaking his head. Nice job.
Two pitch.
And I've discussed McDougall a couple of times with Steve McCatty, and one of the toughest things to do is work with a guy who's actually been successful. He's your closer right now, and the last thing you want to do is put the thought that his mechanics are bad in his head.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want him thinking mechanics, so you got to kind of work around that.
Ball 3.
Got a nice tuck. Nice release point. And it's just really how he falls off towards first base. Just needs to deliver it first and then fall.
3-2 pitch. He gets the ground ball. Hernandez has it for a very important first out. And next up will be Nick Johnson here in the ninth. If this goes according to plan, there will be one hitter that McDougall faced last night, and that's the man who's walking to the on-deck circle right now. Nick Johnson, typical night, on base twice, base hit, a walk, a run scored.
Well, if he's going to continue to fire fastballs at Nick, you might want to shade him a little bit towards the left line.
And a check swing for a strike.
Here's the defense.
Pretty much straight up on the infield.
But this is where Nick loves to hit the ball. So
on base 10 times in 4 games with his new team. That's what you get when Nick Johnson brings a .415 on base average to town. Close, but ball 2.
Well, before that pitch, and this is something my catchers used to always do with me, is talking about the front shoulder of the catcher who's got the best view or angle of the guy throwing. And he was also talking about his arm and his release point. Don't drop that arm down.
.97 for strike 2.
But I give Will Nieves as much credit right here. He is almost willing McDougall to hit the target. He is so fired up. He's bring it to me every pitch. Bard and Nieves have done an excellent job since Jesus Flores was pretty much lost for the season. love to face Ramirez, Bob, with nobody on base.
Oh, yeah.
2 outs, nobody on base.
Getting on base, Nick Johnson's specialty. 2-2 pitch. Man, is that close to take in the 9th inning of a 1-run game.
Only Nick can take this pitch. It is so close. How do you take that with 2 strikes?
That is a strike according to the pitch track.
Inside looks a little low.
3-2. Nick Johnson pulls a ground ball to Hernandez. And the Nats will face the league's leading hitter with the bases empty and 2 outs in the top of the 9th.
Well, we can thank Nick for going away from the way he normally hits and takes balls the other way. Pulled that ball on the ground of Hernandez.
18,312 paid tonight. And Hanley Ramirez 2 for 4 with a pair of singles. "24 hours ago at this very minute, last night's game ended. And it's 5-4 tonight after last night's 6-4 win. Had him reaching, strike 2.
No, and this is why baseball's so much fun, Bob. You got the guy leading the National League in batting average against your closer. 2 strikes, top of the 9th inning, 2 outs.
Mr. Gregory wants the 3rd out of the game here in the 9th. And a 1-2 coming. Low and away. Time to make some news. Three consecutive full counts by Mike McDougall here in the 9th. Swing and a miss. It's 10 o'clock in Washington, and the Nats have won 4 in a row.
Well, great pitch right here. A lot of movement on it. It was a slider. He hasn't thrown many of those. Gets on top of it. I think it fooled Ramirez. You see him pulling it down. Bye-bye.
Let's have a look at our 4th drive of the game. Rob, Christian Guzman way back in the 4th.